Just when we thought crimes were going unpunished, that justice would not be handed out, we get a little bit of hope. Prosecutors investigating Rust shooting. You remember that? That happened, this time in 2021. Russia hadn't even gone into Ukraine. Biden had only fallen up 6 sets of stairs. Just an entirely different world, but manslaughter charges look to be back on the table, as district attorneys intend on bringing involuntary manslaughter charge against Alec Baldwin before a grand jury. It's not supposed to happen until November, but at least with this little tip-off right now, kind of looks like the Hutchinson family might get some closure. This comes 5 months, yes, after the special prosecutors going, yeah, well, we had information, the FBI investigated it, and Alec Baldwin, because he's famous, did nothing wrong. No, of course not. Dismissed the same charge against Baldwin, citing new facts in the case. So yeah, some people have pointed out, oh, this is double jeopardy. Well, no, he was indicted, okay, but they didn't charge him with anything, okay, so it's very, very different. New Mexico prosecutors intend to recharge actor Alec Baldwin with involuntary manslaughter in connection with the fatal 2021 Rust shooting. 2 sources familiar with the matter told NBC News. One source added that Baldwin's case will be brought before a grand jury in mid-November. There had been recent discussion of a plea deal to a petty misdemeanor that was rescinded over the weekend. Okay. According to 2 sources familiar with the matter. That's interesting because I thought his charges ended up getting released, or he ended up pleading down to something, but no, now it looks like plea deals are off the table. One source told NBC News that after further investigation, prosecutors no longer believe the gun had been modified and have found new evidence that they believe connects Baldwin to recklessness around safety standards on set. Yeah, you don't say. Yeah, we kind of figured that out at the time. Revolver, 40, Colt 45, like he had, doesn't misfire. You have to purposefully cock back the hammer. You have to pull the trigger. That very gun was undergoing several rigorous tests. And yeah, the armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, it's wild, I can still remember some of these names, did put a live round in the chamber, but ultimately Alec Baldwin had to pull that trigger that inadvertently wounded the director, whose name I don't remember, and did kill Halyna Hutchins. One of the sources told NBC News, that after further investigation, prosecutors no longer believe the gun modified, and they believe that connects Baldwin to recklessness around safety standards on the set. Given the fact that he was also a producer on the film, and it was his film company, really does seem correct. It is unfortunate that this terrible tragedy has been turned into a misguided prosecution. Baldwin's attorneys Luke Nikas and Alex Spiro said in a statement, "We will answer any charges in court, but we thought that this was already done with. We paid off the right people. This charge could carry up to 18 months in prison if convicted." Kind of a pittance, but something, I guess. We believe that based on our lengthy and detailed investigation that this is appropriate for a grand jury in New Mexico to make the decision on whether the case should proceed. And there's that old saying that you can indict a ham sandwich, and well, I'm sure there's more than adequate amount of evidence in order to continue on with these charges, and if they're going to be retrying them in front of a grand jury, kind of leads me to believe if they're going to be just opening up and continuing on with this investigation 5 months after everybody thought it was done and dusted, there's got to be something there this time around. Special Prosecutor Carrie Morrissey told NBC News in a statement. The latest news comes 5 months after Special Prosecutors Carrie Morrissey, that same bitch, and Jason Lewis dismissed the same charges against Baldwin, citing new facts in the case. Like what? Checks cleared? Is that the new evidence? Okay. At the time, they released a statement reserving the right to recharge Baldwin. Yeah, that was one thing that was left open, but everybody was like, oh my God, here we go, nepotism once again. He's famous, he votes the right direction, he says the right anti-Trump stuff. Of course he isn't going to face consequences. This decision does not absolve Mr. Baldwin of criminal culpability, and charges may be refiled. And I guess they really did cross their T's and dot their I's this time around with this investigation. Hence why it took 5 months to come around to it. The case centers on the incident on the Rust film set in October of 2021. So 2 years ago, in which Baldwin's prop gun fired a live round of ammunition, killing the film's cinematographer Halyna Hutchins and injuring director Joel Souza. Okay, there we go. That's his name. Baldwin had maintained in interviews with both ABC, CNN. Oh, I didn't pull the trigger. It just went off. And I didn't pull it. Nope, couldn't. Nope, didn't happen. Nope, couldn't have happened to me at all. I feel that someone is responsible for what happened, and I can't say who that is, but I know it's not me. Definitely not me. No, couldn't have been me at all. It's just over-explaining. Definitely not a sign of tacit guilt or anything like that. Baldwin said in an interview with ABC's George Stroumboulopoulos. Oh, I'm sorry. That's Snuffleupagus on December 21st. Or in 2021, sorry. When the involuntary manslaughter charges were dropped earlier this year, prosecutors said the gun might have been modified before the shooting and malfunctioned. A gun analysis report, an analyst would have performed the report, but anyways, commissioned by the special prosecutor and released in August, found that the gun had not been modified. Wow, imagine that. The film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed, was also charged in January with involuntary manslaughter. Yeah, I want to know if she's also going to be part of this grand jury when they bring these charges before them, because obviously, unless of course you're Trump, you have to convene a grand jury. You have a whole bunch of cases that they deliberate on before they end up either rendering a true bill of indictment or they just dismiss the case due to a lack of evidence. The barrier for entry of that is very, very small. Is there reasonable doubt? Yes. Okay, we can go ahead and continue on with a criminal trial. But her case didn't get dismissed. I guess I misremember that. In August, it was announced that a new trial date had been set for Gutierrez-Reed. The trial was pushed back to February 21st, 2024. So yeah, if Baldwin's going to get tried for pulling the trigger, it would serve to believe that, Hannah Gutierrez-Reed there, she put the live round in the chamber. She was responsible for that. She at least has responsibility due to being the armorer on the set. That's her job, and that was a blatant violation of her role that was there. So, of course. Gutierrez-Reed's attorney, Jason Bowles, has previously said that Gutierrez-Reed will plead not guilty. He declined to comment. Oh boy, so that one's going to trial. That'll be interesting to watch in February. Okay, keep an eye to that. At the time of the original charges, Nick Hass, Baldwin's attorney, called it a terrible miscarriage of justice. See, Alex said that he didn't pull the triggers. We have to believe him. He's famous. Did you see him in Glen Ross? Okay, only closers get coffee. Always be closing, or in his case, well, at least on the set of Rust, always be shooting. In June, Hutchins' husband, Matthew, settled a wrongful death suit with Baldwin and the Rust producers. Production on Rust had resumed this spring. Oh, I wonder if they had a rap party, or if that was right down there at the end. They were like, surprise, here's an indictment. Production on Rust resumed this spring, and Matthew Hutchins serves as an executive producer on the project. All of us believe Halyna's death was a terrible accident. I'm grateful that the producers in the entertainment community have come together to pay tribute to Halyna's final work, Hutchinson's widower said after the settlement. Could you imagine that, man? Like, the dude, obviously, like, he felt like shit, okay? I'm not going to go ahead and say that Alec Baldwin wanted to kill her because, they had an unsettled gambling debt. That's absolutely absurd. He did not intend to kill anybody. He might have legitimately thought that there were blanks in the chamber, but the same way that you can charge somebody who legitimately thought that the chick that he was talking to at the bar was 21 and later turned out that she wasn't 21 is still culpable for engaging in any illicit activity. Alec Baldwin, regardless how many times he's been nominated for awards, isn't absolved of ultimately pulling the trigger leading to somebody's death. Somebody's wife was taken away that day. Somebody's mother was taken away that day. Somebody who could have brought her family over and just saved them of the horrors of the Ukraine war. That was another crazy lawsuit that I actually took Alec Baldwin's side on. That was levied by Hutchinson's family, who's over in Ukraine. It's been a wild couple of years, and now it looks like we're finally heading to some kind of a resolution. I'm just wanting to know if this ultimately goes to trial. What are the camera in the courtroom statutes in New Mexico? Because that, oh boy, that'll be a trial to watch 1,000%. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.